Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Writing. My name is Angie. This is Byte-Sized Booksmith, and this is also our season finale for doing the Urban Fantasy Mystery Project. So this is going to be the last time we chat about it. Well, the last time we chat about it as we're writing it. I may use it as a demo project for later. I may finish it later. Who who knows what's going to go on there? So welcome everyone. How are you this evening, to this day, depending on where you are? Hey, Emery. And I already saw Christina and as well as Just Mesha. Very nice to see you all. I know you guys have been regulars throughout the entire season. Oh, hey, Chad. Great to see you as well. Excited. We got a lot of good stuff to cover today. So I hope you are ready. I actually created 4 brand new prompts. Master Tamari, hello. 4 brand new prompts for this session. And when I tested them, they were amazing. I was very excited about that. So it's great when something works. It's even better when something works even better than you expected. So very excited to share these with you. But so today we are going to cover, oh, hey, Alicia. We are going to talk about book covers. We are going to talk about, keep going, keywords for KDP. So those of you who, myself included, are going to be publishing your books on Amazon and through KDP. Also book blurbs. So what are they? What's supposed to be there? And then if we have time, we're going to talk about book formatting. So if we don't get a chance to get to it, if I run over, I do want to let you know there is a good bit amount of information here, as well as so Atticus, Vellum, a couple free tools, what sections should be in your book, and some formatting best practices. Hey, Lynette. But yeah, this is all here for you guys. If we don't get to it, just wanted to let you know it was there. And I will tell you, I have book formatting wise, I have formatted the nuclear style for Smashwords back in the day. I have used Illustrator, or sorry, not Illustrator, InDesign. I have used every tool that there is. And I will tell you that Vellum and Atticus make it so much easier. So I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, you can absolutely 100% start, and this is the way I did, with Microsoft Word. Okay. Back to the book covers discussion. Are you guys ready? Are you pumped? I know I am. My heart is like racing. I have mixed feelings about coming to the end of this project. As you know, some stuff happened here at home. I actually haven't written any more on the story at all. So I don't like leaving it unfinished, but at the same time, I kind of don't feel like I can go back right now. So Chad says, good because I already got Atticus and no idea how to use it. It's actually quite easy. But again, I did it professionally. So I will look at doing some videos. I will say Atticus has very good videos on how to do stuff. It took me a little bit of tweaking here and there to figure out how they did some things. And it's from the same people that made Publisher Rocket. So if you're familiar with Kindlepreneur, all other stuff is rather easy to use. It takes a minute to kind of figure out where all the things are and how all the bells and whistles work. So apparently I am gonna need some water for a second. So let's talk about book covers. Okay. I know there's that saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but quite literally everybody is. I don't know who you are, but I 100% promise you, you have judged a book by its cover. Back in the day when I was doing book reviews, there was this one author who had these gorgeous covers, and her books were complete garbage. And I was so frustrated. I would pick up her book every time expecting it to be like this really good book because I saw the cover and it looked really good. And then it was just terrible. In fact, the author was like, got to the point where she's like, "Can you please stop choosing my books? Because obviously you don't like my writing style." And yeah, it didn't go well. But so what is um well, first of all, why do covers matter? They're gonna get someone's attention. So we're over here on Amazon and we're scrolling through. What is the first thing that you're gonna see? You might see this bunch of numbers and all these stars, maybe, but the biggest thing on this page, besides the ads, is the book covers. And so the color, how the text is, what either image or what's depicted on it is going to be something that just captures your attention. It's also going to tell us what's the tone of the book. So we can see the one I did here for Return to Sender, and it looks pretty dark. So the book is probably going to be a little bit dark. It's going to be a little bit grim, a bit noir. So that's something else. And the readers expect you to have a professional looking cover. I mean, it's just one of those things. I will say that I have not chosen a book because of its cover in the past. I would look at it and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know about that. They didn't put the effort into the cover that I thought should be there, and I didn't choose it. So, did I possibly miss out on an amazing book? Possibly. But, I am going to judge what I can see, and I can see the book cover. So let's go, and we're actually going to look here on Amazon. And so, as I mentioned, we've got the typography. So what are the different types of font that are used? So on these ones that are thrillers, you're going to see a lot of sans serif fonts. Sans serif fonts are the ones that don't have the little ticks on them. Basically, you're talking like Arial, Verdana. Let's see. I'm trying to think of another one. Of course, I can't think of one off the top of my head when I'm trying to. Let's see. So this has got some pink over here and some teal. This is probably a book for women. This one also is a book for women, and it's probably something that is rather dark. So it's look, dark mafia romance. So yeah, we called it. Again, this one also is probably going to be a mafia romance. Yep, age gap mafia romance. And you can actually go through here and look at the book cover and guess what genre it's for. Let's see. This is a kind of like a whimsical font here from Megan Quinn. But it's also sans serif, so it doesn't have the little tick marks. This one right here, the Pumpkin Cafe, it has a serif font. So it, I think, is a probably, I want to say it kind of looks like a shoot, what are those things called? Cozy mystery. So and this font kind of brings that out. This one is obviously, because you can tell with the little skull in the middle, is probably have something to do with either cowboy, cowgirl, Wild West sort of deal. But yeah, just take a look at the colors. Let's go and where do we want to go? We'll go to romantasy books because romantasy is very hot right now. I feel um, we talk about it quite a bit, and you can just kind of look through and are what are the things that stand out to you? Do you see specific colors pop up? And definitely hop in the chat, tell me what you're seeing. Are you seeing a lot of black, a lot of dark? Um, are you seeing covers that don't necessarily have people on them? So they've got some sort of symbol on them. This one's got a lot of typography on it. This one as well. And just, instead of having the picture of a person, it's got a picture of, I'm assuming that's like a raven or something. I've not read this one. I know that everyone's kind of probably like clutching their chests. No, I haven't read any of the Court of Thorns and Roses. Here we go. Here's another one. This one actually has a person. Now we're back into symbols. But we've got some, glowing font here. It looks metallic. This one's got some really pretty ornate font as well. So if you are going to write a book that's in romantasy, and I do believe, I know, Christina, you are a romantasy writer. You're definitely going to want something that has, an ornate font that has maybe not a picture of a person on it. And some kind of symbol on your book cover. Let's go. Where else? Let's go to science fiction. And that was not where I wanted to go. That was romance. Clicked the wrong thing. Okay, we'll go to fantasy. We're going to go actually into urban fantasy because that's what we were just working on. We were working on urban fantasy. We'll go to paranormal and urban and come down to urban. So this is where you're going to find the stuff for urban fantasy. And so we've got another one of those covers. Here's another one that has just like the, either like a picture from the book, kind of like a landscape, or we've got some kind of symbol. Now, urban fantasy is typically got a woman on it, usually wearing leather. But you'll actually see a lot of these in here aren't right for urban fantasy. They're not the right thing. So this one's not actually urban fantasy. This one is probably more of a paranormal fantasy, paranormal romance. This one here as well is more than likely one too. These two are more than likely urban fantasy. Veiled Justice. Yep. Faded to the Feral Wolf. Again, this is not actually a urban fantasy, whereas Jim Butcher 100% is an urban fantasy. So this is what you're going to want to expect. You're going to want to see a character. Again, a lot of them are female. This one is probably not an urban fantasy either. Men's romance is what this is. Let's see. And people just kind of stick them wherever they want. Okay, down here, we are definitely into urban fantasy. This one right here, also urban fantasy. So what are we seeing through here? Again, we're seeing a character in a location, maybe from the book. We are seeing a nice big title. We're seeing it where we can read the author's name, but it's not taking over the entire the book cover. Let's see what else. That's a romantasy. But when books are in the right place, it's actually a lot easier to see. Another place that actually does this very well and explains cover tropes is actually Kalytics. So if you were to have gotten the Romanticy Kalytics report, you would actually be able to go through and it would explain to you, you know, of the top 100, this many have this kind of cover, this many have this kind of cover. And even goes to the point of saying, you know, the amount of them that have a large amount of revenue even have this kind of cover. So it's really interesting information for a data nerd like myself. But let's go ahead. We'll keep skipping on. One other thing I want to talk about before we get into the prompts and playing around um, is I want to talk about, should you use AI in a cover? And this is going to be 100% up to you. If you feel comfortable using AI in your cover, go for it. It's a possibility. People are going to call you out on it. There's a possibility you may not be able to get the consistency that you want in your um, series. Honestly, professionalism wise, a lot of covers that have been made with AI actually look kind of good, depending on what tool you use. I've seen some really, really good ones. I've also seen some really, really bad ones. So uh, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what I might think looks amazing, someone else might think looks like crap. So take that with a grain of salt. I will say that as far as tools go, Ideogram for me has been the clear winner. I haven't been able to get another um, tool to work for covers the way that I can get Ideogram to work for me. So most of what I've used on there has actually been covers that are more like vector style, more, I don't want to say cartoonish, but probably more illustrative. I haven't done any realistic ones on there because Ideogram, their realism kind of sucks, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I also put on here, there's a tool that is actually a visual design agent called Love Art, and it is really hit or miss. It's cool. You can play with it for free. You can use it to get ideas. But I don't know that I would use it for a production cover at this time. I think it still has a long way to go, but it's fun to play with. So I went ahead and put it on here. Also, you can use Canva, which I don't recommend using Canva for a book cover. But you can use it to make edits if you need to, as well as ChatGPT, which is really good at helping you brainstorm ideas. You also can iterate, and actually, I iterated between ChatGPT and Ideogram back and forth, and actually, that's how I ended up with the book cover for Return to Sender. I honestly just went back and forth between the two of them. So I'd figure something out on one, take it to the other, and I'd say, hey, I like this, but I don't like this one thing about it. Can you fix it? And then I would take it back to the other one. So, and then I finished it because the name at the bottom was terrible. Actually fixed the last bit in Canva. So, but again, it was for a demo. Okay, so let's quit faffing about, as my friend Ronan would say, and let's go in and we're going to play with the new prompts. I'm going to come in here to chat. I was in here playing with other prompts earlier. Oh, let's see. So this one we're going to start with is actually called, let's see, Cover a Brief Coach. So the basic idea here is that you're going to design a cover brief. The cover brief is going to basically tell your cover designer. So just if you decide to use a human cover designer, which awesome, I used to be one. Um, you're going to tell them what you want to be on your cover. And this is a great way of doing that. It also can help the second prompt, which is the cover concept specialist. Um, that one actually takes all of the stuff you have given it and turns it into a prompt for an LLM. So they're meant to be used together if you're going to use a AI cover. Otherwise, you can use the first one and give it to your cover artist. So let's play. I'm actually going to use Gemini 2.5 Pro. And I actually put in the prompt here what I am supposed to be doing. Okay. Which is super helpful. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'll paste it as plain text. So please help me turn this into a complete professional cover brief. Ask for anything that's missing and assemble my answers in a markdown formatted brief. Now, what am I going to give it to give me this cover brief? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to go in here to my entries by category. And remember, if you choose to create, custom categories, you can actually use them here in the context. So I'm actually going to use my story info. And I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And Pro always takes a couple minutes. Okay. So it's going to tell me how amazing I am. And thank you. Fantastic. So I'm going to come down here to, let's start with the basics. So book title and author name and series information. So book title. And if you want to, you can actually give it some of this information ahead of time and it'll go a little bit faster. But I just kind of wanted to show you, starting completely from scratch, what it looks like. So this one is called Return to Sender. Okay, our author name is me. And our series is Dead and Delivered, book 1. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Is there... Okay. So could you share 2 to 3 covers in the urban fantasy or mystery genre that you feel are a good match for your book? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a line. I'm just going to say Jim Butcher. Can't spell. Wow. And I've added other authors on this before. I just can't remember any of them off the top of my head. Oh, Elonia Andrews. Here we go. I spelled that wrong. Oops. Hopefully they'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Tell me briefly what you would like about it. Dark. And they set the mood. Actually, hers are kind of bright and shiny. I don't really want that. Okay. Okay. Visual ideas. So the overall mood, it is gritty. Okay. Kind of angry. I don't really want to say pissed off, but yeah, she's not a happy camper. She just got turned into a vampire, like without her consent. So yeah, and she just found about the paranormal. So character focus. Yes. We want to see Charlie on the cover. Awesome. And she's grumpy because she's my grumpy and my grumpy sunshine. Let's see, color palette. Black leather. What else? Red hair and red blood and concrete, actually. Okay. Colors. Typography. So clean and modern, gritty or distressed, classic and sharp, or something that's more subtle and magical flair. Kind of like the gritty and distressed. Okay. Okay, finally. So we've got the must-haves and the must-avoids. So is there anything that you do want? Is there anything that you don't want? So, for example, I just published a new um, sample codex to my community, and I kept doing the cover, and they kept trying to give the woman on the cover a tennis racket. I kept trying to explain to the LLM, she doesn't need a tennis racket. She's not a tennis player. She's a tennis trainer. It didn't get it. So I finally had to just put in there, do not give the woman a tennis racket. Okay. So must-haves, hard don'ts. Let's see, must-haves. Oops. Gritty, Cleveland, skyline. And she is a vampire, but I want to must avoid traditional vampire outfit. I kept trying to put when I was doing this one before, I kept trying to like dress her up like a Halloween vampire. It was quite weird. And I would definitely recommend spending a little bit more time on this than I am. Okay, here we go. So gritty and angry. Oops, there we go. So here's the design brief, book blurb, the genre and the audience. Readers who enjoy gritty, character-driven urban fantasy with strong world building and a cynical, justice-seeking protagonist. Think fans of Jim Butcher, Olivia Andrews, and Patricia Briggs. Yes, 100%. Definitely right on there. Comparable covers, Jim Butcher's. Yep. Overall tone, central imagery and focus is going to be character focused. So she's got an attitude. This is what she looks like. So this is actually pulling what she looks like, not only from what I said, but also from the codex. So we've got the background setting, the gritty Cleveland skyline, color palette. So we've got dominant colors are going to be dark, moody tones like deep blues, charcoal grays, and blacks. Accent colors, crimson red. Awesome. Title font, return to sender. Boom, boom, boom. Our protagonist setting, thematic elements, must have gritty, recognizable feel of American industrial city like Cleveland. Our protagonist, the dark noir inspired atmosphere, must avoid traditional vampire outfits. No capes, gothic attire, or frilly shirts. Her style is practical and modern. 100%. No overtly romantic or sexualized pose. Yes, she is not there for romance. No cheesy or cartoonish fangs, and no generic women with glowing hands. I like that too. Because so often you'll see the chick with, her hands are glowing, and that's like what the cover is. I 100% agree with that. I hadn't even thought about that. That's funny. Okay. So you can take this and provide it to your cover artist. They may have some more questions for you. This actually might even help you figure out what you want. So often it's easy to not know what you're looking for until you see something that you don't want. Hopefully this gives you kind of a heads up on what you do want. Now I'm going to transition from the first prompt into the second prompt. And let me do that here. And that one is cover design. And we'll go ahead and use Gemini again. And I need to go and grab what I need to say. Okay. Do this here. Oops, wrong thing. I hate when I do that. I want to paste this plain text. Oh, that made it even worse. Go figure. Markdown is going to be the death of me. Okay, so my cover brief is above. I plan to use a diagram. Okay. Then I'm going to hit send. Fingers crossed. So what it should provide me is a prompt I should be able to put in an LLM to get a book cover. So again, crossing our fingers here. Okay. So, and I forgot to open a diagram. So let me go grab that. Oop. You're going to see right here the stuff that I was working on the other day. Okay. Where am I? Here we are. Okay. 10 by 16. That is actually the same thing as 5 by 8. That is the same size that you're going to actually want for up here. This is 5 by 8. I believe Amazon is also 5 by 8. Just FYI. So let's come back here. Let's put this in here. I've got it set to private, and I need 10 by 16. Quality, yep, I want 4. Character, style, I'll leave it on auto to see what happens. Okay, and we're going to generate. Okay. She looks angry. She does not look happy. I like that. It's got the slash through there. That's really pretty cool. Okay. I like this one too. Not quite as much as the last one, but that one's pretty good. I do not like this one. It's a bit too noir for my tastes. This one's okay. I do like the text on it though. I think that came out pretty cool. I do like the clouds here in the back. It's very, very moody. Very cool. Okay. So again, where am I? So we were in the chat, and that is our book cover prompt. So we used 2 different prompts. We used the, oops, let's go back here. The cover brief coach, and then right afterwards we used the cover concept specialist. Any questions about book covers? I do want to move on into the KDP keywords, but I do want to give you guys a chance to ask questions because I really haven't covered this stuff with you guys before. So, okay. I don't see anything yet. So I will stop after I go through this if anything does come in. So let's talk about keywords for KDP. So keywords are going to help you get found because what is Amazon? And Amazon is a giant search engine. So they're not a bookstore. They're not, you know, anything other than a giant search engine. And being found, you make money. Uh-oh. Can you guys still hear me? My computer did something a little strange. I'm going to keep going and just let me know if you can hear me. Okay. So what tools do you have right now just for free to figure out keywords? Well, you have the search, and the search is pretty freaking amazing. So let's type in urban. So, okay, you can't hear me. Thank you. So it's going to start adding words in. It did glitch. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. So the third one down is urban fantasy. We've got urban fiction, urban romance. Well, what's the next word I want to use is fantasy. So urban fantasy books, urban fantasy romance, urban fantasy box set. So let's type in mystery. So urban fantasy mystery. And then we can actually come in here and see the books that come up for urban fantasy mystery. Okay. And this will give you an idea again, what do these people look like? It's a woman with a sword or a woman with magic in her hand. Oh, look, she's got magic in her hand. This one's got a gun. Oh, we got a guy. Here's another guy. You can come down here and you can see other books that are coming up for that keyword. Let's see if it shows you. Yep, here. 40,000 results for urban fantasy mystery. Now, how many were published in the last 30 days? There was 679 books published with a keyword urban fantasy mystery in the last 30 days. That's really powerful information right there. If you're trying to figure out where is the best place to put your book, urban fantasy mystery might not be where you want to be. Could be. You definitely don't want to be in the 1,000 range. Because I think it kind of defaults at 1,000, if I remember correctly. So basically, like 1,000 and up is just 1,000. But you can actually learn quite a bit just from looking here at the search. Now there are tools, paid tools. Publisher Rocket is one, where you can actually go in super deep and, urban fantasy, and it will tell you all the different combinations of urban fantasy. So it'll give you that urban fantasy mystery, urban fantasy romance, all down the page. And you can actually see how many people are searching for it. You can see what the competition looks like, all kinds of other things. I think I did a demo for the Alliance actually on Publisher Rocket. But if you guys need me to show you how it works, just let me know. Happy to show you. So let's come down here to the keyword rules. So don't repeat your metadata. So if it's something that is in your title, your author name, don't put it in the box again. You want to avoid category keywords, avoid category words. So if it is in urban fantasy, you don't want to put urban fantasy as one of your keywords because it's a waste. It's already in urban fantasy. You don't want to use generic terms like book or audiobook or paperback unless it is actually part of your title. Bestseller, award-winning. You don't want to use free. You don't want to use brands such as KU. And you also don't want to use any kind of weird code, question marks, special, symbols or whatnot. Now, the boxes can hold up to 50 characters. You want to fill those bad boys up with words because it will actually take all those words and create words out of them. So it'll create keywords out of what you put in the box. So it doesn't necessarily have to make all that much sense. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Also, you want to separate your words with spaces, not commas. Again, I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And it says to do high priority phrases, tropes, and also words that are linked to your category. What the heck does that even mean? Well, let's go do the thing. Okay. We're going to come here. We're going to start a new thread. I hate when I do that. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let's do it that way. Okay, and we'll come here to KDP keywords. For this one, I think I'm going to use, I'll use Gemini again. Because the next one I'll probably use Claude. Okay, let's come here and go back up here and grab this. Oh, I don't have to. Let's get started. That's all I have to say. Because it's actually going to walk me through everything I need to do. Let's get started. And I am going to include, again, my story information. So let's go ahead and click send. Okay. Now I'm just going to answer the questions. So book title is going to be Return to Sender. Because it says apparently it can see that is part of the series done and delivered, but it can't actually see the title, which is a little bit odd. Okay, so Amazon categories. Which categories are you targeting? We're going to use urban fantasy. Female detective. And I think the other one was vampire something. Hold on, I have it right here. Oh, it's actually private investigator mysteries. And it is paranormal suspense. Or paranormal vampire suspense, I should say. Okay. Okay, genre and subgenre. It looks like a urban fantasy mystery. Nope, that's perfect. So urban fantasy mystery. Okay, our target audience is going to be lovers of gritty, strong female characters. It's not a supernatural workplace comedy. Let's see. We'll just put urban fantasy, mystery, lovers. Okay, so then they want themes, tropes, and key elements. So we have found family. We've got grumpy sunshine. Let's see, what else do we have? A reluctant hero. A cursed main character. And a ghost sidekick. Those are all items that I worked into it in the beginning. Oh, it does have vampire corporate bureaucracy. Good call. Okay, so comparable authors or books. And this is going to be Dresden Files by Jen Butcher. Okay. Unique selling point. So what makes your book stand out? Yep. So we have a homicide, detective, that can hear ghosts, turned into a vampire. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. And this should give me 7 basically keywords, but keywords are actually multiple words, if that makes any sense. Okay. So box 1. So we've got the box 1 through 3 is high priority. So we got vampire, detective, urban fantasy, mystery, series, book 1. Do you understand what I mean by we're putting in all of the words and we're trying to, I don't want to say keyword stuff, but we're trying to really take advantage of the space that we have. So it's going to be able to pull out urban fantasy mystery series, urban fantasy mystery, series book 1, vampire detective. We also got supernatural crime investigation, magical thriller ghosts, gritty female detective, hard-boiled paranormal suspense. And then we have more, and it just keeps going. And it also gives you the reasoning why it chose those words as well. So vampires and and magic, urban fantasy books for adults. So books for adults, urban fantasy books for adults, or magic urban fantasy books for adults. It will show up under all of those. So I know this was a bit weird. This is actually how Kindlepreneur recommends doing KDP keywords. So, and I found that it works. Any questions before we move on? We're running low on time and I need to get to blurbs. Okay. While you guys have a minute, let's hit the blurbs real quick. Looks like I've got about 11 minutes. I think we can do it. Don't forget, again, all this book formatting information is down here, since we're definitely not going to get to it tonight. Okay, so your book blurb is not a description of what happened in the book. It's not a synopsis. That is something else. Basically, what a book blurb is you are trying to convince someone to purchase your book. And you're going to do it in a very short amount of words. In fact, probably the shorter the better, if I'm being 100% honest. So I also have the difference between an Amazon blurb, and a back cover text as well up here if you're interested. But here are the things that make a book cover blurb convert or make someone, purchase. So we've got a hook line, we've got conflict, we've got stakes, we've got sizzle. Or I can't tell you, I've probably never said the word sizzle in that way in my entire life. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Also, it connects to the readers. So if you are a fan of Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, you will love this book. And then at the end, there is a call to action. You're telling them, hey, we've made it to the end, but this is what I want you to go do. So we're going to skip past the rest of this, and we're just going to go write ourselves a blurb. Okay. This one is under Blurbs. The blurb copywriter actually already existed, and you can find it in the AI toolbox. And for anyone who doesn't know where that is, it's right there. That's how you get to the AI toolbox. Shoot, lost my spot. Here we go. We're back in blurbs. This one is called Book Blurb Variation. This one's actually going to give you 3 blurbs. Not 1, not 2, but 3 different blurbs for your book. And we're actually going to use Sonnet 4 for this one. And we're going to hope that I remember what I'm supposed to say to get it started. Hold on 1 second. Oops, categories, story info. Okay. We're going to have to go through this very quickly. And it won't let me turn it not into a quote. Oh well. Okay, so title, return to sender. Series info is Dead and Delivered, book 1. The genre and subgenre, urban, fantasy, mystery. Age range, adult. Reader type or avatar, likes a gritty female lead. Okay. The rest of the information is actually attached about the summary, so I'm not going to worry about that. Key tropes and themes. Comp title I will include. Good free options for all of these prompts. I'm going to be 100% honest. I do not use free LLMs. So I would actually have to go and look at that and get back to you on that, because I will usually use Claude, Gemini Pro, or GPT, just because I know they work and they're consistent. And that's what I need them to do. I need them to work for me. I need them to be consistent. Comp titles, be Dresden Files. I know where to find you. I'll look it up and get back to you. A preferred tone is going to be dark and gritty. I'm not going to include a example that I like or any special requests. I'm just going to let it go and we'll see what we get. It wants more information. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Christina. Okay, so basic description of Charlie Craig. Charlie is a woman obsessed with justice who is unjustly turned into a vampire. Okay. What specific event kicks off her main plot? Her transformation. Okay. And what happens if she fails? If she fails to find Dylan's killer, I guess. Hang on. Yeah. Then they will be on the loose, I guess. And he won't have justice. Okay. What are the main reader tropes? So we've got found family. I feel like I'm repeating this multiple times. So maybe create a codex entry with this information in it. So you don't have to like repeat it 900 times. Probably a good idea. We got found family. We've got grumpy sunshine. Reluctant hero. Cursed main character. And a ghost sidekick. Okay, we're gonna run over, guys. I apologize. So emotional hooks. They are going to. What feelings are you expecting in the readers? Outrage, probably. At her transformation. Probably for at least for this one. What makes your supernatural world different? Definitely the vampire corporations. Okay. Oh, special requests. So you can spoil don't worry about spoiling her transformation. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it like this and let it go. Christina says, what's next? Do you mean what's next with the channel or what's next with me? Okay, so we have a classic story arc blurb. We've got a punchy mini blurb. And then we have a ghost a ghost's perspective blurb. Okay. I did not see that coming. Oh, what's the next story we're going to do? I'm actually going to be taking some time off of streaming to focus on the school community, the Story Alliance, and we're actually going to be doing beginner level of how to use Novel Crafter. And then I'm going to be taking them through a more than likely, I think, yeah, that'll be September. October, we're going to do a either a ghost story or something for Halloween. And then I'll probably be back on here in November. And I'm thinking about doing young adults books for boys again. I dabbled with it last year, but I think we're going to do that here in November. Okay. So actually, if I would have given it a lot better information, these blurbs probably would have been much better. But we've got, so homicide detective Charlie Craig doesn't follow the rules, especially when it comes to human trafficking cases. That destroyed her career. Her obsessive off the books investigation leads to a warehouse ambush that cost her everything, her life, her humanity, and her badge. This isn't very good. I think it just like keeps pulling stuff in just because it's like linked. I don't like that. Detective Charlie Craig thought dying would be the worst part of her day. Then she woke up with fangs, a corporate handler, and a job processing ghost mail in Cleveland's supernatural bureaucracy. When her first case connects to the human trafficking investigation that got her killed, Charlie realizes someone wanted her transformed for a reason. Now she's got ghostly witness, a team of supernatural misfits, and exactly one chance to hunt the killer before the conspiracy that destroyed her human life claims another victim. Justice was her obsession in life. In depth, in death, it's her weapon. Wow, that's actually pretty good. I apparently can't speak today. Okay, this is weird. So my name is Dylan Wallace, and I've been dead for 3 weeks. How odd would that to be to read that? Letters I'm writing should be impossible. Dead men don't write, and ghosts don't have stories worth telling, but Detective Charlie Craig can hear me, and she's the only one who believes my murder wasn't random. She's got her own problems. She's newly undead, trapped in a soul-crushing job at this supernatural government's dead letter office, and furious about being turned into the very thing that she spent her human life hunting criminals to protect people from. Her corporate handlers think they can control her. Her magical consultant partner thinks he can manipulate her. They're all wrong. This is actually really pretty good. I didn't expect that. Huh. Some detectives never give up. Even death can't stop the good ones. Okay. On that one, I definitely think that the mini one was the best one. I think if I spent a lot more time on it, it probably would have been a lot better. Let me show you the one I did for this one. Here we go. That one's just long. It's long, but it's pretty good. Owen Scott is living every romance reader's dream and worst nightmare simultaneously. Fake dating the woman he's been secretly in love with for years. When sports psychologist Libby Allen agrees to help him, that this is a little funky, help him make her cheating ex jealous. Their practice sessions quickly escalate to friends with benefits territory. But every kiss meant to hurt another man is real for Owen, and every heated moment she calls just physical is slowly breaking his heart. Now she must choose between the lie that keeps her close and the truth that could destroy everything, because she has no idea that for him no idea that for him nothing was ever fake. So this is actually a sports romance comedy that I just finished the sample codex for, which should be available soon. This one was fun too. But anyway, that is it for tonight. That is it for Urban Fantasy Mystery. What do you guys any questions, comments? Like I said, I think we'll be back in November. I'm sure we'll get disrupted by the holidays, but my family wants me back for Friday nights. And we're actually having an after party next week for the group on school. So if any of you guys are on there, you'll be able to ask questions and we'll just have a good old time. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you guys. Um, thanks. Definitely have a good night. Have a good weekend too. It was a good Friday night. A good Friday night experience. Yes. I wish I would have had more time because yeah, last that last one wasn't that great. But I hope you guys get out there and write your stories. Play with all these fun tools. Focus on your stories though. don't get distracted like I do. Um, oh, yes, happy Labor Day for those of us in the United States. Well, I will say happy writing. I see you guys again soon, and yeah, talk to you later.